Bart Simpson is Springfield's biggest troublemaker, but nobody wants to be him. From getting strangled by his own father every day to surviving multiple murder attempts, Bart's life sucks, and I will go over every reason why. Starting with one of the most heartbreaking, imagine this. You're 10 years old, and you've been struggling in school your entire life. Every test feels like climbing a mountain with no equipment. Your teacher hates you, your classmates mock you, and your own family has given up on expecting anything good from you. That's Bart's reality in the episode. Bart gets an F. After bombing yet another test on the War of 1812, Mrs. Krabappel delivers the crushing news that if Bart doesn't pass the next exam, he'll be held back and have to repeat 4th grade. For most kids, this would be motivation enough, but Bart isn't most kids. He tries to study. He really does, but his mind won't cooperate. The words on the page blur together and nothing sticks. He can't focus no matter how hard he tries. It's not that he's dumb, it's that something in his brain just doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Nobody considers that he might have ADHD or a learning disability. No, to everyone around him, Bart is just lazy, just a troublemaker who doesn't care about his future. The pressure builds and builds until Bart does something he's never done before. He prays. He actually gets down on his knees and begs God for help, promising to be good if he just gets one more chance to study. And miraculously, it works. A freak snowstorm hits Springfield and school gets canceled. Bart has his extra day, but even with divine intervention on his side, even with Martin Prince's tutoring and genuine effort, Bart can barely grasp the material. The information slips through his mind like water through a sieve. When test day arrives, Bart sits there sweating, struggling through every single question, knowing he's probably going to fail anyway, despite everything he did to prepare. And he does fail. Mrs. Krabappel grades his test, and the result is devastating. He got a 59, 1 point away from passing. Bart's world crumbles. All that effort, all that hope, all those prayers, and he still couldn't make it. But then something unexpected happens. During his breakdown, Bart mentions something about the test that shows he actually understood the material, just couldn't express it properly on paper.
Oh, now I know how George Washington felt when he surrendered Fort Necessity to the French in 1754.
Mrs. Krabappel takes pity on him and changes his grade to a D-. Bart passes. This time he does celebrate, showing everyone his passing grade with genuine pride. This is Bart's life, working twice as hard as everyone else just to scrape by with the minimum, forever being told he's not good enough, that he's the problem, that if he just tried harder, everything would be fine. But he is trying. He's trying as hard as he can, and it's still never enough. That's the nightmare of being Bart Simpson. Now imagine you're that same 10-year-old kid, and you start getting letters written in your own blood. That's not a metaphor. That's what happens to Bart in Cape Fear. Sideshow Bob, the former kids show sidekick turned homicidal maniac, gets paroled from prison, despite Bart being the reason he was locked up in the first place. Bob's entire existence now revolves around one goal, ending Bart's life. Not scaring him, not teaching him a lesson, but straight up murdering a child. The letters start arriving, threatening messages that make it crystal clear Bob is coming for him. Bart lives in constant terror, checking under his bed, looking over his shoulder, unable to sleep, because he knows a genius psychopath with nothing to lose is hunting him. The family tries to protect him by entering the Witness Protection Program and moving to Terror Lake under new identities. But it doesn't matter. Bob is too smart, too determined, too obsessed, and here's where it gets truly horrifying. Bob straps himself to the underside of the family car and rides with them all the way to their new home. When they arrive at the houseboat, Bob reveals himself and takes the entire family hostage. He ties everyone up and prepares to end Bart right there in front of his parents and sisters. A 10-year-old child is about to be executed, and he knows it. In a desperate move, Bart convinces Bob to sing the entire score of the HMS Pinafore, buying himself a few more precious minutes of life. Bob, being the theatrical egomaniac he is, can't resist. He performs the entire opera while Bart's family stays tied up, helpless to intervene. By the time Bob finishes, the boat has drifted back to Springfield, and the police are waiting. Bart survives, but the trauma doesn't just disappear. Bob keeps coming back, again and again and again. And in the Treehouse of Horror series, he actually succeeds in one alternate timeline. Think about what that does to a kid, psychologically. Knowing that someone brilliant, cultured, and utterly relentless wants you dead, and has tried multiple times to make it happen. Most people don't survive one encounter with a serial killer. Bart has survived dozens, but there's no therapy for him, no counseling, no acknowledgement of the PTSD he must be experiencing. The next episode after Bob's attacks, Bart is just expected to go back to normal life as if nothing happened. That's the curse of being Bart Simpson. Your traumas don't heal because time never moves forward enough to process them. Just when you think Bart's life can't get worse, imagine discovering your one talent, the one thing you're actually good at, only to have it ripped away from you. That's exactly what happens in Separate Vocations. The school administers a career aptitude test to help students figure out their futures. Lisa gets homemaker, which devastates her because she dreams of being a professional musician. Desperate to prove the test wrong, she consults a music teacher for his opinion. He praises her talent, but delivers crushing news. Because she inherited her father's stubby fingers, she can never be a professional saxophone player. But Bart gets police officer. For the first time in his life, something makes sense. He could be good at this. He could actually succeed at something. When he becomes the hall monitor, Bart transforms. He's not the screw-up anymore. He helps students, stops bullies, solves problems, and even earns respect from people who used to mock him. For once, Bart feels like he has value, like he could actually become something other than Springfield's biggest disappointment. He's genuinely happy and good at his job. Principal Skinner even commends him. Meanwhile, Lisa's world is falling apart. Learning she'll never be the musician she dreamed of becoming destroys her. In her depression and anger, she steals all the teacher's edition textbooks and hides them, planning to sabotage the school. When the theft is discovered, Lisa faces expulsion, which would ruin her entire future. And this is where Bart's life becomes truly tragic. He knows Lisa stole the books. He finds them in her locker, and he has a choice to make. He could turn her in, protect his newfound reputation, continue on the path toward actually having a successful future for once in his miserable life, or he could sacrifice everything to save his sister. Bart chooses Lisa.
Who's behind this monstrous crime?
I am.
Skinner is devastated. The one time Bart showed promise proved he could be more than a troublemaker, and now this. Skinner sentences Bart to 600 days of detention. That's more than a year and a half of staying after school every single day. Bart's dream of becoming something better dies right there. He goes back to being the screw-up, the disappointment, the kid with no future. Lisa gets to keep her perfect record and continue toward her bright future, while Bart rots in detention, his one chance at redemption destroyed by his own choice. And does anyone thank him? Does Lisa realize the magnitude of what Bart sacrificed for her? Not really. She goes back to her life, and Bart goes back to his, sitting in detention, staring at the wall, knowing he could have been something more. That's the tragedy of Bart Simpson. Even when he tries to be good, even when he finds something he's talented at, the universe conspires to drag him back down to where he started. Things get even darker when you realize Bart's own family sees him as defective. In the Treehouse of Horror episode The Thing and I, Bart discovers the horrible truth about his birth. He wasn't born alone. He had a conjoined twin brother named Hugo, who was attached to him at birth. When Dr. Hibbert separated them, he told the Simpsons that one twin was pure good and the other was pure evil. Homer and Marge made their choice right there in the hospital. They decided Bart was the good one and Hugo was evil. So what did they do with Hugo? They locked him in the attic. For years, while Bart grew up as part of the family, Hugo lived in chains above them, fed nothing but fish heads, treated like an animal. The family knew he was up there. They heard him moving around, and they did nothing. One day, Hugo escapes. He's been alone for his entire life, watching through cracks in the floor as his twin brother lived the childhood that should have been partly his. Hugo's mind has been twisted by isolation and mistreatment. He captures Bart and plans to surgically reattach them, forcing them back into the conjoined state they were born in. The family stops him just in time, and Dr. Hibbert examines both brothers again. That's when the truth comes out. Dr. Hibbert got it backwards. Bart was the evil twin all along, not Hugo. The scar placement proves it. Everything the family believed was a lie. And what's Bart's punishment for being designated the evil one? He gets locked in the attic, chained up, and starts getting fed fish heads while Hugo takes his place in the family. Even though this is a non-canon Halloween episode, it reveals something dark about how the Simpsons see Bart. Given the choice between two identical brothers, they chose Hugo. They accepted the switch without question. Bart, the kid they raised for 10 years, gets thrown in the attic and replaced. Nobody fights for him. Nobody questions whether this is right. They just accept that Bart is the evil one and move on with their lives. It's treated as a joke, but think about what that represents. Bart is so disposable to his own family that they'd lock him away and replace him without hesitation. He's always been the problem child, the one they wish was different, the one who doesn't fit the mold of what a good Simpson should be. In every version of reality, canon or not, Bart is the one who suffers. He's the designated scapegoat, the family's built-in excuse for everything that goes wrong. And there's no escape from that role, because that's what he was created to be. The abuse Bart endures from his father would land Homer in prison in real life. But in Springfield, it's played for laughs. The episode Love is a Many-Strangled Thing finally addresses what everyone has seen for years. Homer regularly strangles his son as punishment. The show has depicted Homer choking Bart hundreds of times throughout its run, squeezing his neck until Bart's face turns blue and his tongue hangs out. In this episode, the family attends an NFL game, and Homer publicly humiliates Bart by tickling him on the stadium's video board until Bart wets himself in front of thousands of fans. After this incident, Marge enrolls Homer in a fathering enrichment class taught by therapist Dr. Zander. During the class, Homer casually mentions that he strangles Bart for misbehaving.
So anyway, I'm strangling him, and I said to Bart,
Wait, hold on a moment. You were strangling your son?
"Yeah, strangling."
Dr. Zander is horrified. To make Homer understand what it feels like to be Bart, he brings in basketball legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. For an entire week, Kareem strangles Homer repeatedly, showing him the fear and pain Bart experiences on a regular basis. Homer is traumatized. He finally understands the fear and pain Bart experiences regularly. The therapy works too well. Homer becomes so afraid of hurting Bart that he can't discipline him at all anymore. And what does Bart do with this newfound freedom? He becomes a terror. He bullies other kids, destroys property, disrespects everyone around him, and turns into exactly the kind of person people always assumed he was. Without the fear of consequences, Bart's worst impulses take over. This reveals something devastating about Bart's psychology. The abuse didn't make him better. It didn't teach him right from wrong. It just made him afraid. And when the fear disappeared, so did any sense of restraint he had developed. Bart has been so damaged by years of physical punishment that he doesn't know how to behave properly without the threat of violence hanging over him. His moral compass wasn't developed through love and guidance. It was beaten into him through fear and pain. Eventually, Homer realizes he needs to overcome his trauma to save Bart from himself. But here's the really messed up part. At the end of the episode, even the therapist who helped Homer can't stand Bart.
Very funny, Bart. That's not the snake, is it?
After spending time with the kid, Kareem himself snaps and tries to strangle Bart, proving that even professionals think Bart deserves the abuse. The message is clear. Bart is so inherently annoying, so fundamentally problematic, that violence against him is not only justified but inevitable. Everyone who spends enough time with him eventually wants to hurt him. That's Bart's existence. Being told that the abuse he suffers is his own fault, that if he was just better, just different, just less himself, then maybe people wouldn't feel compelled to hurt him. He's been gaslit his entire life into believing he deserves the pain. And the worst part? Because time never moves forward. Bart's neck has literally become hardened from years of strangulation. His body has physically adapted to regular abuse. That's not comedy, that's horror. That's a child's body changing to survive chronic violence. But nobody helps him. Nobody removes him from the situation. The abuse is just normalized, accepted, treated as a quirky family dynamic, rather than the cycle of violence it actually represents. While Lisa gets entire episodes dedicated to her emotional struggles, and everyone rallying to support her, Bart gets to be the punching bag. Moaning Lisa shows this perfectly. Lisa is depressed. She's struggling with existential dread, and feeling disconnected from the world around her. It's a serious, touching episode about recognizing when someone you love is suffering and helping them through it. Marge notices Lisa's pain immediately. Homer eventually understands and supports her. The whole family comes together to make Lisa feel better. They validate her feelings, they listen to her, they change their behavior to accommodate her emotional needs. It's beautiful. It's exactly how a family should respond to a child in crisis. And where's Bart in all of this? Being a jerk to his sister and getting yelled at by Homer. When Lisa is playing her depressing saxophone music, Bart complains about it. When Lisa needs space and support, Bart is cast as the insensitive brother who doesn't understand. His role in the episode is to be an obstacle to Lisa's healing, not a person with his own feelings and needs. At one point, Homer can't figure out how to help Lisa, and he's frustrated. So what does he do? He takes it out on Bart.
Gee, Homer, looks like you got yourself a real problem on your hands.
You're right. Bart, vacuum this floor.
Bart isn't even involved in the situation. He's just there, convenient and acceptable to abuse, when Homer needs to feel in control of something. This episode perfectly encapsulates Bart's place in the family hierarchy. When Lisa suffers, everyone cares. When Lisa needs help, everyone provides it. When Lisa is hurting, the entire family reorganizes itself around making her feel better. But when Bart struggles, when Bart is in pain, when Bart needs support, he gets strangled, he gets yelled at, he gets told to clean something or stay out of the way. His suffering doesn't matter because he's Bart. He's the problem child. His pain is either deserved or irrelevant. The contrast is devastating. Both kids are struggling with serious issues throughout the series. Lisa deals with depression, existential angst, and the pressure of being a gifted child. Bart deals with learning disabilities, ADHD, constant academic failure, death threats from Sideshow Bob, physical abuse from Homer, and being the family scapegoat. But only one of them gets empathy. Only one of them gets help. Only one of them is treated like their feelings are valid and important. Bart's emotional needs are invisible to his family. They've written him off as the troublemaker, the lost cause, the kid who will never amount to anything no matter what they do. So why bother understanding him? Why bother helping him? Why bother treating him like a human being who deserves love and support? It's easier to just strangle him when he acts out and move on with their day. That's the ultimate tragedy of Bart Simpson. He was born into a family that has already decided who he is and who he'll always be. Nothing he does can change that perception. He could save Lisa's future by sacrificing his own and still be seen as the screw-up. He could work harder than anyone else just to pass a test and still be called lazy. He could survive multiple assassination attempts and still be treated like his trauma doesn't matter. Because to everyone around him, Bart isn't a complete person. He's a role. He's the bad kid. And bad kids don't deserve the same compassion, patience, and support that good kids get. He is born to lose. And if you want to see every killed-off character in The Simpsons, click the video on the screen.